Ladies and gentlemen, our master of ceremonies for this evening is a comrade you all know from the Department of Pennsylvania who has served veterans in the VFW for many years in many important positions. Please join me in welcoming a great American veterans advocate and the Junior Vice Commander-in-Chief of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, John Bajetsky, Jr.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 14th Annual Veterans of Foreign Wars and Ladies Auxiliary Parade of Winners, featuring our Voice of Democracy and Patriot's Pen winners. Tonight, I have the privilege of being the Master of Ceremonies for this exciting event. Commander-in-Chief Bill Thine and National President Sissy Burrell will be our hosts as we honor these outstanding young men and women who have advanced to the highest level possible in our Voice of Democracy and Patriot's Pen contests. At this time, I would ask that everyone please rise and stand as I call upon our National Chaplain, Bob Dickerson, for the invocation, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem.
Let us bow. This evening, our Heavenly Father, we have come to pray for our young people. We are so grateful for their hard work, their dedication, and their determination to be here tonight. We thank you, Lord God, for their voices of democracy. We thank you for their voices of duty, honor, and country. For perhaps among them is a future President of the United States, possible senator, astronaut, scientist, doctor, lawyer, police officer, teacher, only you know. As they come tonight, we pray that you would breathe afresh upon them that peace that passes all understanding that only you can give. For you said in your word, my peace I give unto you. My peace I leave with you. Not as the world giveth, but give I unto you. And as I close my prayer, I close on the words of Isaiah the prophet, the 40th chapter and verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not get weary. They shall walk and shall not faint. Let us say amen.
Comrades, sisters, and friends, if you face the flag of the United States and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please set homes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Before these young people are presented, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce to you some distinguished guests seated on the stage. First, a man whose dedication to country and service to our nation has led him to the leadership of our great organization, a position he fills with dignity, humility, integrity, and courage. The Chief's theme, Serving the Deserving, has renewed our commitment and focused our organization as we continue in this new millennium. From serving our country in the United States Navy and the Indiana National Guard to the esteemed office he holds today, his thoughtfulness and determination have inspired us as we have continued our service to country through membership in the Veterans of Foreign Wars and its Ladies Auxiliary. It is indeed a high honor and a distinct privilege for me to introduce, from the Hoosier state of Indiana, the Commander-in-Chief of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, Bill Thine. Keeping America's veterans and families strong is more than just a slogan selected for the Ladies Auxiliary this year. To more than 550,000 members, it represents the heart of their commitment to veterans and the love they have for our nation. We are pleased to have with us tonight the lady who selected that theme and who has led our wonderful Ladies Auxiliary since last July. It's my pleasure to present to you from the Pelican State of Louisiana, the National President of the Ladies Auxiliary to the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Sissy Burrell. Appointed by the Commander-in-Chief to serve as this year's chairman for the National Programs Committee, from the Show Me State, Chris Johnson. Appointed by the National President to serve this year as National Director of Scholarships for the Ladies Auxiliary to the Veterans of Foreign Wars, from the Empire State of New York, Jane Reep. And serving as coordinator for the Veterans of Foreign Wars, from the Sunflower State of Kansas, Steve Van Buskirk. Seated in the audience tonight, the Senior Vice Commander-in-Chief from the Silver State of Nevada, John Stroud. From the Sunshine State of Florida, Adjutant General John E. Hamilton. From the Sunflower State of Kansas, Quartermaster Bob Green. From the Empire State of New York, Judge Advocate General Hal Burke Jr. and his lovely wife, Carol. From the Centennial State of Colorado, Surgeon General Peter Buchanan and his wife, Barbara. From the Lone Star State of Texas, National Chaplain Reverend Bob Dickerson. From the Hoosier State of Indiana, National Chief of Staff Dave Havley. From the Prairie State of Illinois, Inspector General Terry Vance. And a special greeting to a special gal from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, my wife, Betty Jean Bajitsky. And finally, the wife of our Commander-in-Chief, Bill Thine, Linda Thine. Linda. From the Constitution State of Connecticut, National Senior Vice President of the Ladies Auxiliary, Ann Panalakis. From the Old Dominion State of Virginia, National Conductress of the Ladies Auxiliary, Dee Guillory. Dee's not with us? Well, we wish her well because of this beautiful sunshine we've been experiencing. From the Old Line State of Maryland, National Guard of the Ladies Auxiliary, Sandy Kriebel. And from the Palmetto State of South Carolina, our National Secretary Treasurer of the Ladies Auxiliary, Jan Owens. Tonight, we recognize the national winner in the 19th Annual Patriots Pen Contest and witness the final result of our annual Voice of Democracy competition, the culmination of another successful year for the Voice of Democracy's program long 67-year history. The Voice of Democracy program is sponsored jointly by the Veterans of Foreign Wars and its Ladies Auxiliary, and provides an exemplary opportunity for high school students to think, write, and articulate their thoughts on freedom and democracy. Why I am optimistic about our nation's future was the theme for this year's Voice of Democracy program. It asked students to reflect on their feelings about their country's future. I now ask the Commander-in-Chief and the National President to come forward to center stage and prepare to welcome all of tonight's superlative winners. Now, before we officially begin, I have 3 requests. Number 1, in fairness to everyone in this large and enthusiastic crowd, we would appreciate your courteous attention to the introduction of the winners and their department officers. Secondly, please do not block or in any way interfere with the duties of our staff photographer. Of course, pictures are encouraged and welcomed, but please take advantage of the areas to the right and left of the stage to take your pictures. Remember, the students and the Ladies Auxiliary presidents and department commanders will be available after the program for additional pictures. I now call upon past Commander-in-Chief Ed Maness to begin the processional of this year's winners.
The first place National Patriots Pen winner from the Department of Montana, Alexis Kanan, escorted by Commander Ed Croucher and Ladies Auxiliary President Judy Arnold. From the Department of Alabama, Mary Mosley, escorted by Commander Valentine R. Obregon. From the Department of Alaska, Samuel Erickson, escorted by Senior Vice Commander Tim Albright and Ladies Auxiliary President Tina Stoddard. the Department of Arizona, Katrina Forgreave, escorted by Commander Tony Mangini and Ladies Auxiliary President Catherine Seipel. From the Department of Arkansas, Christian Griffith, escorted by Commander Gary W. Wellesley and Ladies Auxiliary President Donna Batter. From the Department of California, Alina Llamas Rios, escorted by Senior Vice Commander Howard Hagan and past Department President Stephanie Martin. From the Department of Colorado, Sarah Haynes, escorted by Commander Kirk R. Rosa and Ladies Auxiliary President Linda Staley. From the Department of Connecticut, Christopher Moko, escorted by Commander Robert J. Froelich and Ladies Auxiliary President Ruth Houston. From the Department of Delaware, Ashley Rainey, escorted by Commander Benjamin P. Chudzik Jr. and Ladies Auxiliary Member and Department Judge Advocate Sherry Leslie. From the Department of District of Columbia, Maya Westby, escorted by Commander Arnie Shaw and Ladies Auxiliary President Audrey Thomas. And from the Department of Europe, Amethyst Rory, escorted by Commander James D. Vergot. From the Department of Florida, Grace Spees, escorted by Commander Chester H. Pyatt and Ladies Auxiliary Senior Vice President Louise Koser. From the Department of Georgia, Madison Tank, escorted by Commander Ronald E. Keller and Ladies Auxiliary President Kim Lewis. From the Department of Hawaii, Catherine Mowinaki, escorted by Commander Joseph F. Bragg and his wife, Suzanne Bragg. From the Department of Idaho, Blake Duvall, escorted by Commander Glenn M. Nielsen and Ladies Auxiliary President Denise Muncie. From the Department of Illinois, Madison Haley, escorted by Commander Matthew M. Mahelchik. From the Department of Indiana, Nathaniel Johnson, escorted by Commander Gregory L. Baker and Ladies Auxiliary President Jean Haggard. From the Department of Iowa, Michael Salazar, escorted by Commander Gary R. Marquette. From the Department of Kansas, Ian Bonzel, escorted by Commander Lynn W. Rolfe III and Ladies Auxiliary President Ethel Maskey. From the Department of Kentucky, Raymond Vincent Whalen, escorted by Commander Joe L. Schutterbaum and Ladies Auxiliary President Sue Christie. From the Department of Louisiana, Allison Ward, escorted by Commander Russell K. Showmaker. From the Department of Maine, Jonah Abraham, escorted by Commander David C. Olson. From the Department of Maryland, Abigail Hilton, escorted by Commander Steve Mason and Ladies Auxiliary President Lynn MacArthur. From the Department of Massachusetts, Joseph Crackmall, escorted by Commander Ronald A. Smith and Ladies Auxiliary President Veronica Wood. From the Department of Michigan, Brooke Mullen, escorted by Commander Ronald L. Devereaux and Ladies Auxiliary President Marilyn Melkick. From the Department of Minnesota, Kaylee Zeman, escorted by Commander Frank E. Pressfield and Ladies Auxiliary President Laura Dale. From the Department of Mississippi, Marley Sue Bradley, escorted by Commander Billy F. Perkins and Ladies Auxiliary President Lori Williamson. From the Department of Missouri, Barrett Young, escorted by Commander Thomas W. Mundell and Ladies Auxiliary President Danetta Wakefield. From the Department of Montana, Jeffrey DeBray, escorted by Commander Ed Croucher and Ladies Auxiliary President Judy Arnold. From the Department of Nebraska, Emmanuel Hermosia Alvarez, escorted by Commander Harold Schellender and Ladies Auxiliary President Donna Finsky. From the Department of Nevada, Abigail Bernard, escorted by Commander Robert J. Garlow and Ladies Auxiliary President Mary Stroud. From the Department of New Hampshire, Max Lala-Len, escorted by Commander James J. Golden and Ladies Auxiliary President Linda Theroux. From the Department of New Jersey, Tonya Obaze, escorted by Commander Arthur R. Taylor and Ladies Auxiliary President Deborah McLendon. From the Department of New Mexico, Gary Tinnell III, escorted by Commander Mike Singh Jr. and Ladies Auxiliary President Beth Miller. From the Department of New York, Alyssa Zielinski, escorted by Commander Michael Pascal and Ladies Auxiliary President Bonnie Burgee. From the Department of North Carolina, Luke Ball, escorted by Commander Ernest E. Alice and Ladies Auxiliary President Penny Kakalides. From the Department of North Dakota, Rosemary McDonald, escorted by Commander Emery C. Fisher and Ladies Auxiliary President Dolores Mattis. From the Department of Ohio, Elena Sokolowski, escorted by Commander Ralph K. Jeffers and Ladies Auxiliary President Jane Walker. And from the Department of Oklahoma, Lane Weatherford, escorted by Commander Jeff W. Harris. From the Department of Oregon, Talia DeAndrea, escorted by Commander Jason Carroll and his wife, Mrs. Jason Carroll. From the Department of the Pacific Areas, Kenneth Swoboda, escorted by Commander Sean C. Watson. From the Department of Pennsylvania, Khalib Kulatham, escorted by Commander Russell R. Canavera and Task Department President Betty Jean Brzezinski. From the Department of Rhode Island, Catherine Rogers, escorted by Commander Gary W. Maddox and Ladies Auxiliary President Denise Ride. From the Department of South Carolina, Antania Adams, escorted by Rodney J. Burney and Ladies Auxiliary President Audrey Smith. From the Department of South Dakota, Hannah Covey, escorted by Commander Darrow D. Couch and Ladies Auxiliary Americanism Chairman and Patriotic Instructor Geraldine Dolan. The Department of Tennessee, Deanna Upchurch, escorted by Commander Harry L. Carroll and his wife, Bridget Carroll. From the Department of Texas, Sierra Gordon, escorted by Past Department Commander John Spar. From the Department of Utah, Rachel Ossie, escorted by Commander Douglas R. Larson and Ladies Auxiliary Past President Tammy Larson. From the Department of Vermont, Taylor Markey, escorted by Commander Russell W. Bibbins. From the Department of Virginia, Catherine D. Hadway, escorted by Commander Christopher E. Birch and Ladies Auxiliary President Lonnie Beckwith. From the Department of Washington, Luke Stacy, escorted by Commander Theodore E. Street and Ladies Auxiliary President Jennifer Vincennes. From the Department of West Virginia, ladies and gentlemen, Miranda Cook, escorted by Commander William L. Lambert and the second oldest living World War II Medal of Honor recipient, Herschel Woody Williams. From the Department of Wisconsin, Bethany Bergman, escorted by Senior Vice Commander John Giese. From the Department of Wyoming, Felicia Christopherson, escorted by Senior Vice Commander Cheryl Shannon and Ladies Auxiliary Past President Sandy Peterson. And from our unaffiliated posts, Aliyah Matthew, escorted by Adjutant General John E. Hamilton.
Ladies and gentlemen, Department Voice of Democracy winners, it is again a privilege and an honor for me to introduce to you and call upon the Commander-in-Chief of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Bill Fine, and the National President, Sissy Burrell.
Thank you. Thank you. We take a great deal of pride in knowing that our Voice of Democracy program has now completed its 67th year. Under our joint sponsorship, the program has continued to prosper. The Voice of Democracy program now awards 63 national scholarships for a total of $152,000. It's time now to announce this year's full list of national winners. Sissy and I would now request that Steve Van Buskirk and the National Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship Director, Jane Reep, to please come forward to announce this year's National Scholarship recipients.
The program competition now provides 63 scholarships for the 54 department winners. The following national scholarships are all $1,000 scholarships. These awards are announced by the name of the scholarship.
Please note that these $1,000 scholarships are announced in random order. Contestants will be given the opportunity to confidentially request their actual number placement once they return to our hotel. I now ask each student to come forward as they are announced for a photo with the Commander-in-Chief and the Ladies President. They will be given a citation to hold for the photo.
The Commander-in-Chief, Richard L. Eubank, and 2010-2011 Department Commander's Scholarship from California is awarded to Allison Ward, Department of Louisiana.
The Fridley VFW Post 363 and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship from Minnesota is awarded to Catherine Maunakia from the Department of Hawaii.
The Department of Michigan and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Antonia Adams, Department of South Carolina.
The Department of Wyoming and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Michael Salazar from the Department of Iowa.
The Department of Kentucky and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Luke Stacy, Department of Washington.
The Department of New Jersey Howard E. Vanderkloot Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Ian Bonzel from the Department of Kansas.
The Roy Chandler VFW Post 762 and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship from North Dakota is awarded to Brooke Mullen, Department of Michigan.
The Arthur W. Jones VFW Post 7564 and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship from North Dakota is awarded to Amethyst Rory from the Department of Europe.
The Department of Pennsylvania Joseph L. Vusides Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Deanna Upchurch, Department of Tennessee.
The Gilbert N. Nelson Post 1326 and their auxiliary Bismarck, North Dakota Scholarship is awarded to Gary Tunnell III from New Mexico.
The Department of Maine Scholarship to remember the USS Maine is awarded to Emmanuel Hermosillo Alvarez, Department of Nebraska.
The Department of Kansas and its Ladies Auxiliary Robert R. Whipple Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Alyssa Zielinski from the Department of New York.
The Department of Nevada and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Max Lalonde, Department of New Hampshire.
The Department of Florida John M. Jack Carney Scholarship is awarded to Kenneth Swoboda from the Department of Pacific Areas.
The Department of Hawaii and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Aaliyah Matthew from the unaffiliated posts.
The Department of Idaho and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Marley Sue Bradley from the Department of Mississippi.
The Department of Mississippi VFW and Ladies Auxiliary Bernard McClelland Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Rachel Acey, the Department of Utah.
The Ray Sisk Memorial Scholarship from California is awarded to Christopher Mokel from the Department of Connecticut.
The Department of Tennessee Cooper T. Holt John Fergus Scholarship is awarded to Miranda Cook, the Department of West Virginia.
The Department of Mississippi Toxie K. Stapleton Post 6473 Luther J. Cox Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Ashley Rainey, Department of Delaware.
The $1,500 Department of Arkansas and its Ladies Auxiliary Les Thone Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Sarah Haynes, Department of Colorado.
The $1,500 Department of Colorado and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Abigail Hilton from the Department of Maryland.
The $1,500 Department of Massachusetts Edward A. Nardi Scholarship is awarded to Nathaniel Johnson, Department of Indiana.
The $1,500 Department of New Mexico and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Bethany Bergman, Department of Wisconsin.
The $1,500 Department of Missouri and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Jeffrey D. Bray, Department of Montana.
The $1,500 Department of Illinois and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Blake Duvall from the Department of Idaho.
The $1,500 Department of New Hampshire Dan and Jean Loud Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Maya Westby, District of Columbia.
The $1,000 Juanita Crow Durbino Department of Tennessee Scholarship and the $1,000 Irvin and Lorraine Rothenbuehler Scholarship from Maryland, totaling $2,000, are awarded to Elena Sokolowski from Ohio.
The $1,000 All-American Post 284 Scholarship from the District of Columbia, and the $1,000 Bernard J. Michaels Post 9610 and Auxiliary Scholarship from Florida, totaling $2,000, are awarded to Lane Weatherford, Department of Oklahoma.
The $1,000 Larry W. Rivers Scholarship from Louisiana and the $1,000 Department of Illinois Scott Post 4183 Scholarship totaling $2,000 are awarded to Samuel Erickson from the Department of Alaska.
the $1,000 Francis Tallman Memorial Scholarship, and the $1,000 Robert A. Stock Memorial Scholarship from New York, totaling $2,000, are awarded to Christian Griffith, Department of Arkansas.
The $1,000 Walter and Doris Marshall Memorial Scholarship from Montana and the $1,000 Southern Conference Scholarship totaling $2,000 are awarded to Joseph Grockmall from the Department of Massachusetts.
The $1,000 Mr. and Mrs. James H. Black Scholarship from North Carolina, and the $1,000 Jane Young Memorial Scholarship from Ohio, totaling $2,000, are awarded to Taylor Marquis, Department of Vermont.
The $1,000 Department of Alabama Scholarship and the $1,000 Department of Georgia James H. Sloppy Floyd Memorial Scholarship totaling $2,000 are awarded to Mary Mosley from the Department of Alabama.
The $1,000 Department of Georgia R.D. Bulldog Smith Jr. Scholarship, and the $1,000 Department of Ohio Chester J. Cook Memorial Scholarship, totaling $2,000, are awarded to Felicia Christofferson, Department of Wyoming.
The $1,000 Department of Connecticut and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship, and the $1,000 Stephen and Elsie Reardon Memorial Scholarship from New Jersey, totaling $2,000, are awarded to Sierra Gordon, Department of Texas.
The $2,000 Department of Arizona and Auxiliary Harry A. Kost Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Katrina Fairgrief, Department of Arizona.
The $2,000 Department of California and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Barrett Young, Department of Missouri.
The $2,000 Kramer Carroll Scholarship from Illinois is awarded to Caleb Kulatham, Department of Pennsylvania.
The $2,000 Department of Wisconsin Wally Hogan Tom Tradewell Commanders-in-Chief Scholarship is awarded to Tona Obaze from the Department of New Jersey.
The $2,000 Silver Spring Memorial Post 2562 Scholarship from Maryland is awarded to Catherine Duhadway, Department of Virginia.
The $2,000 Jesse A. Lewis Memorial Scholarship Award from California is awarded to Catherine Rogers, Department of Rhode Island.
The $2,500 Troy and Sandy Rothbart Memorial Scholarship from New York is awarded to Abigail Barnard, Department of Nevada.
The $2,500 Daniel Sean Wallace Memorial Scholarship from New Jersey is awarded to Hannah Covey from the Department of South Dakota.
The $3,000 Joseph and Irene Hansen Memorial Scholarship from Maryland is awarded to Raymond Vincent Whalen, Department of Kentucky.
The $3,000 Department of Indiana and its Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship is awarded to Eliana Llamas Rios from the Department of California.
The $3,500 Department of New York and its Ladies Auxiliary Reverend Albert G. Salmon Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Jonah Abraham, Department of Maine.
The $4,000 Department of Minnesota William F. Halsey Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Talia DeAndre from the Department of Oregon.
The $5,000 Rehoboth Beach Post 7447 and Auxiliary Department of Delaware Scholarship is awarded to Rosemary McDonald, Department of North Dakota.
For fifth place, the $5,000 Floyd County VFW Post 3281 New Albany, Indiana Scholarship is awarded to Callie Zeman from the Department of Minnesota. Now, would the following department winners please come forward to center stage in front of the students? The Department of Florida, the Department of Georgia, the Department of North Carolina, and the Department of Illinois. Fourth place, the $7,000 Leroy Moorhead Memorial Scholarship named for former heavyweight boxing champion George Foreman's late father is awarded to Madison Tank from the Department of Georgia.
Third place, $10,000 VFW scholarship is awarded to Luke Ball, Department of North Carolina. We're doing the last two, right?
Break time? Is it time for break time for a break? Can I take a break?
Oh, I don't know. Second place, $16,000 Charles Kuralt Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Grace Spees, Department of Florida.
First place, the $30,000 VFW T.C. Selman Memorial Scholarship is awarded to Madison Haley from the Department of Illinois. Now I ask National Programs Chairman Chris Johnston and National Ladies Director Jane Reep to please join me for a special presentation. It's a VFW tradition to present our Commander-in-Chief and Ladies Auxiliary President with a Voice of Democracy jacket. In addition, this year, we are presenting each of them with a copy of the commemorative book containing the students' signed pictures and their essays.
Fits good. Thank you, Grace. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, as we allow our Voice of Democracy first place winner to settle her nerves, I would like to present the 2013-2014 National First Place winner of our Patriots Pen Essay Contest to read her winning essay. Alexis Kanan is the recipient of the $5,000 North End Post 144 Paul A. Spira Past Commander-in-Chief Award. Please welcome Alexis, sponsored by VFW Post 1125 and its Ladies Auxiliary from the Department of Montana.
Patriotism, the love for and devotion to one's country. But it goes beyond just that. I see patriotism as actions, the willingness to fight for one's country, what propels the women to run the family business while the men are fighting for our country, having the courage to stand up for what you believe in, voting, and it is what our 56 forefathers demonstrated when they stepped forward to sign the Declaration of Independence. No matter your age, you can be a patriot. You may be thinking you aren't able to fight for our country. You don't need to run a business for someone who is fighting, and the Declaration of Independence has already been signed. But you can be a patriot by being aware of what is going on in our country, speaking up for what you believe in, supporting our troops, getting informed about elections, and voting. You should be praying for our country, its leaders, its troops, and its citizens. Our actions will encourage others to do the same. Take Abraham Lincoln as an example. Born into a poor family in Hodgenville, Kentucky, his parents were patriots, instilling in him the love for our country. If they hadn't, he might not have cared enough to stand up for what he believed in. He may not have become a lawyer, a Whig Party leader, a state legislator, a U.S. representative, or President of the United States of America. We all know that if he had not become president, slavery might not have been abolished and our country might have been permanently divided. So how does a 13-year-old like me be a patriot? When I see the American flag, I put my hand over my heart and think about all the great things our country has accomplished and that all the great leaders of our country were once my age. I have had the honor of carrying flags for rodeo grand entries. My favorite flag is the beautiful American flag, as it is the most important flag and the greatest honor to carry it. So remember, patriotism is the freedom to express your beliefs and to act on those beliefs. Pursue your God-given talents to better our country, no matter what age you are.
Well done, Alexis. Let's have another hand for our winner. Now I'm very pleased to read her winning essay, representing VFW Post 777 and Ladies Auxiliary from the Department of Illinois, our first place Voice of a Democracy winner, Madison Haley.
Oh man, my heart is pounding. I would like to say thank you to a few people before I start. I want to thank my family. They were the first people to support me when I told them I wanted to do an essay. This whole program has been such an honor tonight to be in this room with all of these veterans, with all of these amazing people that I've gotten to meet. We've all come from a different state, but in just a few days, we've all become one unit. we are all one people, and that truly makes me optimistic. I want to thank my local post and the District 10 for their support as well. Everyone that's volunteered through the VFW and the Ladies Auxiliary. But most importantly, I want to thank all of the men and the women that have fought for this great nation. It is truly because of their bravery that I can stand here tonight and speak about my great nation. So for all of those who have fought, who are fighting, and will fight one day, thank you and God bless. Benghazi, illegal spying by the NSA, the targeting of conservative Americans by the IRS. I watch the news, and it seems that our country is plagued by turmoil and strife. Trayvon Martin, the Boston bombing, the Fort Hood massacre. I watch the news, and it seems that our country is overwhelmed by hate and division. It would be easy for me, a high school senior, to be pessimistic about this nation's future and fearful of my own. And yet, I'm not. I'm quite the opposite, actually. Why, may you ask? Let me tell you the story of the USS America, and you too will see why, like me, you too can be optimistic about this nation's future. Inspired by architects such as Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, the blueprints of a vessel unlike any the world has seen before were crafted. Held captive by tyrannical English moorings, thousands of people willingly sacrificed their lives to release her binds while yelling in unison, "In God we trust." Following the command of her captain, George Washington, they raised the red, white, and blue sails adorned with stars and stripes as they set sail for history with the Constitution to guide the way. She was constructed from freedom and liberty, and in over 200 years, she's never sunk. On her hull, the following words are emblazoned: "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." She's only run aground once on the rocky shores of the Civil War. During this time, she was torn in half as the current of slavery pulled her to and fro against the jagged rocks. This is the closest she's ever come to sinking. That is, until Abraham Lincoln guided her to deeper waters, using the tide of emancipation to break her bondage while freeing all. The winds of time carry her to lands of prosperity and through storms of adversity that riddle her to the core. But the crew never withers, and her body never breaks from the strain. Facing tsunamis such as the Great Depression, 2 world wars, and 2 fallen towers, she sails onward, constantly and consistently moving forward. She may bend, but she never breaks. And though she sometimes loses her way, she's eventually led back on course by her unwavering compass, the Constitution. This is why I'm optimistic. I'm a crew member of the USS America, and because of her history, I know this ship will always cut through murky waters and weather all storms. When I look behind from where we have come, I am no longer afraid to look ahead to where we are going. It's not that the ship is unsinkable, but rather her crew refuses to allow it to sink. Yes, we have strife, and the love of many grows cold. But when the winds roar and the waves threaten, we pull together. The eradication of slavery's evil was supplanted by the triumphant election of our nation's first Black president. The carnage of 2 world wars birthed our nation's greatest generation, who freed millions from German oppression. And the heart of mankind rose from the rubble of 2 fallen towers, as evidenced by the courageous firemen and policemen who thought nothing of their own safety while rescuing others. But mostly, I'm optimistic because this country is still the land of the free, the home of the brave, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I know that when the skies grow dark and the waves threaten, we will resolutely stand on the bow of the USS America while reciting the same words our forefathers did before us. In God we trust.
Thank you, Madison. Congratulations to all our winners. Let's give them all a big hand again. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats until the students have left the stage. Students, please file forward down this step and join your respective department commander and ladies auxiliary president. That concludes our youth scholarship program for 2014. Please feel free to join your department officers in congratulating all these wonderful young students. Again, they will be available for the next 30 minutes for pictures. Thank you for joining us this evening.